Hi, I'm aware the lighting isn't very good this afternoon. Let me try and if I do that, does that help? No. Okay. I'll have to just leave it, I think. Make the best of it. I'm just gonna thank you for the thumbs. Maybe it's okay. I'm just gonna share the link. Just to advertise my new time of 2 p.m. Okay. Okay. It looks really dark here. What to do. Anyway, so hi, welcome to the Thursday stream. I now do these streams on Thursday at 2:00 p.m. UK time. So I used to do it at 9:00 at one point, 9:00, and I changed to I think 8, maybe 8:30 for maybe a year or so. Then I went to 6 last year, I think. So now I'm doing it at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. afternoon time. So you join at 2 on my YouTube channel, and then you can watch and listen through that. And then to ask questions, you have to still friend me and send me a friend request, and then send questions through Skype. And my Skype is Rebekah Maroon. Yeah. That's the way it's done. That's the way it's done. Yeah. So today's stream is called Identification is Suffering. Lovely. Identification is suffering. Just have a drink. Get the throat lubricated. Yeah. How exciting. How exciting. What exciting subject. What exciting subject. So what that title is screaming is freedom. What it's screaming is freedom. That what you are is freedom. What you are is already freedom. What this is already freedom. There's no one here not free. There's no one here free. There is just freedom. There is just freedom. That's all there is freedom. And what is being described is to identification with something. So identification with a movement, with a thought, with a feeling, with an experience, with an idea is suffering. To identify with anything is suffering. And this is just something that happened in humans. This identification begins to happen. This holding on, this claiming of things, this claiming of form, of appearances, and this reaching for pleasure, and this avoidance, moving away from pain. And this is suffering. This is suffering. And it's absolutely perfect. It's absolutely perfection happening. In the same way as this speaking about that is also perfection. So the identification with things is perfection, and also the pointing of that out, the pointing out the suffering of humans. This non-duality is also perfection. And they aren't separate things. Like it's all together. It's all together. It's not divided into right and wrong. Shouldn't happen. This should happen. A wrong appearance, a right appearance. It's all just happening. One energy, one movement. Non-separation. Non-separation. That's what this is talking about. This wholeness. This not two-ness. So you could use the analogy of the ocean. So all these seeming separate waves, these movements of the ocean, the waves appearing that seem to be separate, seem to have their own volition, seem to have their own appearance. But we can see clearly it's the ocean appearing as that temporary wave, that temporary appearance, being born and then appearing and then crashing down and disappearing back into wholeness. It never even left that. It never left ocean. It never left wholeness, but it appears as a seeming separate appearance, a seeming form. And so you can describe this speaking as another seeming form appearing. The problem with humans is identification happens, and it believes this form, it believes the wave to be a truth, it believes the wave, it believes these words, it believes this feeling, it believes this idea as being a truth, rather than a temporary appearance, a temporary form. We believe it. We believe the mind stories, and this is suffering. This is suffering. This holding on to this. This trying to make this a permanent thing, a separate from the ocean, and it isn't. It can't be separated out from the ocean. And this is a dream of humanity, that a human entity was born. Adam was born, and he was someone. He was a separate entity appearing. And this story of Adam and his descendants and her descendants, as if they are separate individual people. And this is the dream. This is the dream. And so as that separate appearance, it seems to be looking for what it is, looking for itself. Inherently built into it is a looking for itself, looking for what you might call truth, or what it is ultimately. But it can only look within this form, it can only look within forms and appearances. What it actually is already is. It already is complete. It already is known beyond this appearance, beyond this form. So this, in terms of a human, this form has a functioning, a brain, has a functioning, we call brain, which can interpretate, it can imagine, it learns language and concepts and to communicate. It learns this apparent separation. We have this seeming separate language to communicate and to think and to do, which is really beautiful, that the wave can have this illusion of separateness, this illusion of being a person, being a character, being tall, being short, being fat, being thin. It can have this seeming independent experience as if it's as if it's autonomous and individual. It can have the illusion and dream of that. That's just miraculous. that can happen. There can be this dream of this appearance of a person, a separate character with its own feelings, ideas, beliefs, memories. That's quite miraculous. What art, what creativity, what creation. But it begins to feel real. It begins to feel like that is really someone separate. That is really someone independent from everything else. The dream becomes real, or it seems really real. And this is suffering. This is suffering. There can be lots of pleasure in that, but there can be, ultimately, there is suffering in it. Like being in a prison or a nightmare you can't get out of. To believe that that is a real person. So you'd imagine then that to wake up out of that dream, for that dream to disintegrate or stop happening, you'd imagine that it would be the end of that seeming appearance, the end of that seeming character, the end of the appearance of I am somebody, I'm a person, I have choice and I have thoughts and feelings and memories, but that's not what this is. It's like it's even more magical than that. When the body ends, so when the body's no longer living and breathing and moving, then yes, it's the end of everything. It's the end of the character, the end of the memories, the end of the perspective. But while the body's still living, operating and functioning, there is going to be a sense of a person. There's going to be a character. There's going to be a seeming experience, a seeming perspective, a seeming flavor of that individual, of that human machine. There will be a character. And this is where the everything part comes in. This is where the integration comes in, because you can't live as emptiness. The person takes it on and then tries to become emptiness, and there may be lots of awakenings that happen and a recognition of beyond this, beyond these seeming movements, this waking up of that which was never actually asleep, never dreaming. But then the question or feeling is how to then live this. How does the living of this happen? Either that happens, or what can happen as well is, and not even questioning that, just a living as a like a belief, or living as a religion, not being free as a human, not being free as a human. The human is the human, but it can be freer. It can be freer to be what it is. Whereas what can happen, and it happened here, was this deep knowing, this deep seeing, this deep awakening, this deep freedom. But like the human wasn't as free. It's hard to explain that. Like the human wasn't as free. I can't say it any other way. The human wasn't as free, and so this integration, let's call it integration. They call it embodiment as well. Embodying sounds lovely. Embodiment, integration seems to happen. This everything seems to happen, where the human's gobbled up into it. So the human is then freer or freed up. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. So the suffering is identification with that form, identification with any form. That this is happening to someone. Even the character, that the character is happening to someone. This is the illusion. This is the dream. That there is someone being a character, that there is someone. That this isn't already free. This isn't playing out the way it's playing out freely. That this is wrong or right, or that there is separation. It's not true. It's not true. There is just everything. There is everything. There is love. There is wholeness. Wholeness playing. Or emptiness playing as wholeness. Emptiness playing as everything. This is everything. This is all there is. This is what you are. There is nothing else than this empty fullness, this full emptiness. This is it. This is it. All that's been longed for is right here. Not as a thing. Not as a thing. As nothing. Not a thing. No thing. As everything. As all things. There is no separation. There is no division. All things. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. So what to say now? Who knows? So you're welcome to. When I move, the camera zoom changes as well. I'll stop doing that. When I sorry, yeah, you can now ask questions or share comments. I'm just gonna put the chat on. It's very dark on that thumbnail. Oh, wrong heading. Okay. Okay, so I'm active on Skype, so you're welcome to ask questions through Skype. Excuse me. Okay, so there's no questions. Okay, so yes, that is all. Yeah, I shall see you next week, Thursday. I shall be here at 2 p.m. Okay, lots of love. Bye.